There are wounds that no one sees. You carry them inside quietly. You laugh, you work, you move through life as if everything is fine. But somewhere, something within you still bleeds. On the 24th October, life reminds you that healing cannot begin until you stop pretending that you are not in pain. The hidden wound is not a sign of weakness. It is simply the part of you that still waits to be understood. You don't need to hide it anymore. You only need to see it clearly without judgment. That's where healing begins. For a long time, people are taught to hide their pain, to appear strong, to move on. But pretending strength is not strength. It's fear disguised as control. True strength begins the moment you can sit with your pain without turning away. On the 24th October, this is your invitation to look at what hurts and say, yes, this is part of me, but it doesn't define me. When you face the wound, you are already healing it. Every unspoken emotion becomes a quiet shadow. It follows you into every decision, every relationship, every silence. You think you've forgotten, but the body remembers. The heart remembers. That's why certain words still sting, certain memories still echo. 24th October is a reminder that those memories are not your enemy. They are messengers. They tell you where the light needs to enter. You don't fix the wound by fighting it. You heal it by understanding it. The truth is, what you hide rules you. When you bury pain, it doesn't disappear. It transforms into patterns that repeat themselves. You might find yourself avoiding people, distrusting love, doubting your worth, all because of a wound you never faced. 24th October wants you to stop hiding, to open the door, to let the air touch what's been closed for too long. Because when you finally see the wound, you begin to take your power back from it. Awareness always breaks the chain. Healing is not a dramatic event. It's a quiet returning to yourself. It happens when you stop blaming, stop running, stop pretending. When you finally say, this is my pain, I accept it. In that moment, the wound loses its control. 24th October carries the energy of truth. It invites you to look inwards, to stop escaping. Because what you run from, you give strength to. What you face, you dissolve. The wound is not your weakness, it's your teacher. It shows you where you have been asleep. It shows you what you still fear to feel. When you begin to listen to it, you will realize it's not here to destroy you. It's here to awaken you. On the 24th of October, allow yourself to listen. Every discomfort you feel is guiding you back to awareness. It's showing you the parts of yourself you've ignored. Don't hide anymore. Hiding is heavy. Seeing is light. When you hide your pain, you build a wall around your heart. That wall might protect you for a while, but it also keeps the light out. You start to feel empty, disconnected, cold. You begin to wonder why life feels so quiet even when you're surrounded by people. The reason is simple. You're not living from your truth. You're living from your protection. But life doesn't heal behind walls. 24th October comes as a soft whisper. Lower the wall, just a little. Let life see you as you are. The world doesn't need your mask. It needs your presence.
Yeah.
Healing begins in honesty, not with others, but with yourself. The moment you can say, I am hurt, but I am ready to heal, everything shifts. The energy that was once trapped in hiding becomes strength. The emotion that was once pain becomes clarity. The wound that once felt like a curse becomes your awakening. That is the power of truth. That is the power of 24th October. It is not another day. It is a turning point. You must understand that the wound is not your end. It's your beginning. Without it, you wouldn't seek truth. Without it, you wouldn't learn depth. Without it, you wouldn't awaken. Pain is often the path the universe uses to bring you home. On the 24th of October, you are being reminded to walk that path consciously. Stop avoiding the mirror. Look into it fully. What you see there is not broken. It's becoming whole. The wound you've been hiding is not meant to shame you. It's meant to free you. Cannot change the past, but you can change the meaning you give to it. You can stop seeing yourself as the one who suffered and start seeing yourself as the one who is rising. That is the transition of the soul. That is healing. So when 24th October comes, do not fear what surfaces. Do not rush to silence it. Sit with it. Feel it. Breathe through it. Every tear that falls is washing away another layer of pain. Every breath that deepens is reconnecting you with life. You are not being broken. You are being cleansed. And when you finally see your wound, not as something to hide, but as something sacred, you will realize it was never your enemy. It was your guide all along. Healing starts when you stop pretending. 24th of October is not about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you are beneath the pain, beneath the masks, beneath the fear. The one who can face everything and still remain peaceful. That is real strength. That is healing. And that is what this day wants to awaken inside you. There are things you keep buried inside because you think silence will make them disappear. But silence doesn't heal pain. It only hides it deeper. What you suppress waits for you. It waits in your thoughts, in your reactions, in your quiet moments when the world stops talking. Suppression doesn't end the suffering. It only delays the healing. On the 24th October, life wants you to stop escaping from what you feel, because every emotion you refuse to face will eventually find a way to face you. You can't run forever. Every time you push away sadness, every time you hide anger, every time you numb the ache inside you, you are not removing it. You are planting it. And what you plant in silence will grow in shadows. It will take form in anxiety, in restlessness, in exhaustion. That is why you feel tired without reason, because your energy is divided between who you are and what you are trying to hide. On the 24th of October, there is a clear message. Awareness is not painful. Resistance is. The truth is simple. What you face, you release. What you avoid, you repeat. Suppression creates circles that never end. You think time will heal, but time cannot touch what you refuse to see. Awareness, however, can. When you look directly at your pain, when you allow yourself to feel it fully, it begins to lose its grip. It softens. It becomes lighter. On the 24th October, you are called to turn toward the very thing you've been turning away from, because your peace is hidden inside your acceptance. You must understand, emotions are not your enemy. They are the language of your being. They come to show you where balance is missing. But when you suppress them, they become distorted. They lose their natural rhythm and start to control you from behind the curtain. You may think you are calm, but deep inside, storms are waiting. Suppression is a mask. Awareness is liberation. On this day, 24th of October, you are being reminded to stop silencing your truth. Feel it. Watch it. Let it move through you. That is how energy transforms. Most people confuse control with peace. They think staying composed means they are strong. But true peace is not the absence of emotion. It is the understanding of it. Suppression is a cage. Awareness is the key. The more you deny what you feel, the further you move from yourself. But the moment you bring awareness to your emotions, you bring light into darkness. You stop being afraid of what's inside you. 24th October carries that energy of awakening, the light that breaks through your walls, not to expose you, but to free you. Pain exists because something within you wants to be acknowledged. When you suppress it, you deny your own inner voice. You silence your truth. But awareness is gentle. It doesn't fight the pain. It listens to it. It allows you to understand what that pain was trying to teach you. Maybe it was showing you how deeply you can feel, or reminding you that healing starts with honesty. 24th October is that mirror moment. The one that asks you to look without running, to see without fear. Awareness doesn't demand that you fix everything right now. It only asks that you be present. When you watch your pain, instead of reacting to it, something powerful happens. You begin to separate who you are from what you feel. You realize the emotion is temporary, but you are not. You realize you are not your sadness, not your anger, not your past. You are the awareness that sees all of it. That realization is the beginning of freedom. That realization is the energy of 24th October. It takes courage to feel. Anyone can avoid. anyone can hide. But it takes true strength to sit with discomfort and let it pass through you. Awareness requires patience, honesty, and surrender. Suppression only requires fear. You must choose which one will lead your life. The moment you choose awareness, you stop repeating old wounds. You start creating new possibilities. You stop reacting. You start understanding. That is what 24th October teaches, to stop living in resistance and start living in truth. Awareness is healing because it transforms pain into clarity. When you look at your emotions with awareness, you begin to understand their message. Anger shows you where boundaries were crossed. Sadness shows you where love was lost. Fear shows you where trust was broken. Every emotion carries a lesson. But if you suppress it, you lose the wisdom hidden within it. On the 24th of October, life is giving you a moment to pause and listen, to stop covering the wound and start hearing what it's trying to say. Healing doesn't happen when you forget. Healing happens when you remember deeply. When you bring awareness to pain, it no longer controls you. It teaches you. It becomes a bridge, not a barrier. Awareness allows you to move forward without the weight of avoidance. That is the difference between existing and living. On this day, don't suppress, don't deny. Be fully here. Feel the life moving through you, even in your discomfort. That is how you return to yourself. 24th of October stands as a turning point between suppression and awakening. It calls you to stop running and start observing. Stop pretending and start feeling. Because the truth is, awareness is not a punishment, it's a doorway. The pain you face with open eyes will never have the same power again. You will see that healing was never about fighting the darkness. It was about learning to hold your own light within it. 24th of October reminds you that awareness is the beginning of freedom and suppression is the end of growth. Choose awareness. Choose light. Choose to face what you once feared, and the wound will finally begin to close. You have lived too long believing that you are your pain. You carry the wound and call it identity. You walk with it, speak through it, even breathe under its shadow. And that's why you never feel truly free. On the 24th of October, life whispers the truth you have always missed. You are not the wound. You are the awareness that sees it. You are the observer behind every thought, behind every emotion, behind every memory that ever hurt you. The wound is a part of your story, not the definition of your being. When you start identifying with pain, you lose your power. You begin to think that healing means fixing who you are. But you were never broken. You were only unaware. The wound is real, but it's not you. It's an experience passing through you. Just like the clouds pass through the sky, pain passes through the awareness that you are. 24th of October is the moment to remember that you are not the clouds, you are the sky itself. The wound becomes wisdom the moment you stop saying, my pain, and start seeing the pain. The difference is small in words but massive in reality. The first keeps you trapped, the second sets you free. Because when you watch pain from a distance, you begin to understand it instead of becoming it. You start to see why it came, what it tried to show you, and how it shaped your strength. 24th October teaches you that freedom begins with observation, not avoidance. You are not meant to drown in emotion. You are meant to learn how to float through it. Every feeling, every memory, every ache has something to teach you. But when you identify with them, they own you. When you observe them, they reveal you. The moment you step back and see your pain clearly, it loses its control. You can breathe again. You can think again. You can see life beyond it. This clarity is what 24th October brings, a clear view of the truth that has always been within you. Pain wants you to believe that it defines you. That's its nature. It feeds on your attention, grows through your identification, but awareness dissolves it. You don't have to destroy pain. You only need to stop calling it yours. The more you observe it, the weaker it becomes. The more you understand it, the quieter it gets. This is the silent power that begins to awaken within you on the 24th October, the power of distance, the power of stillness in the middle of what used to break you. You may have spent years holding on to stories of betrayal, of loss, of failure. You replay them in your mind and they shape how you see yourself. But those stories are not who you are. They are experiences that came and went. You are the awareness that witnessed them. The same awareness that is watching now, listening now, breathing now. On the 24th of October, you are being reminded to stop identifying with the story and start embodying the observer, because only then can the wound become wisdom. When you stop identifying with pain, you begin to see what it has been teaching you all along. Maybe the pain showed you compassion. Maybe it taught you patience. Maybe it revealed how strong your heart truly is. When you stop fighting the wound and start understanding it, it transforms. It no longer burns. It begins to guide. What once was suffering becomes the seed of insight. That is what 24th of October symbolizes, the day when you stop being the victim of pain and become the student of it. Every wound carries hidden wisdom. It teaches what peace cannot. It teaches surrender, humility, and truth, but only when you stop clinging to it. You must learn to let the wound breathe, to allow space between your awareness and your emotion. In that space, healing happens naturally because awareness doesn't need to fix anything. It only needs to see clearly. On the 24th of October, clarity returns. You begin to remember who you are beneath all the pain, the witness, the silence, the space in which everything arises and fades. The moment you realize that you are not the wound, you stop fearing life. You stop fearing loss, rejection, endings, because all of those belong to the realm of experience, not the essence of who you are. Pain touches the surface, awareness lives beneath it, and awareness cannot be hurt. This realization changes everything. It brings peace where chaos used to be. It brings balance where confusion used to live. This is the deep truth that 24th October brings into your heart, the truth that you have always been whole. You don't heal by changing your past. You heal by changing your relationship with it. When you stop identifying with your pain, you take its meaning away. You no longer say, this happened to me, but rather, this passed through me. That simple shift transforms the energy of suffering into understanding. The wound no longer limits you, it liberates you. The more you see, the more you awaken. On the 24th of October, choose to see differently. Don't fight the wound, observe it. Don't deny your pain, witness it. Watch how it moves, how it fades, how it rises and falls like waves on the ocean of your awareness. And then you'll see you were never the wave. You were always the ocean. The wound becomes wisdom only when you remember the vastness that you are. That vastness cannot be broken. It can only awaken. When you live as awareness, pain stops being personal. You no longer carry it. You learn from it. You no longer run from life. You flow with it. This is the meaning of healing. It's not about forgetting the wound. It's about outgrowing it. It's about realizing that every wound was an invitation to wake up. And on the 24th October, that awakening begins within you, quietly, deeply, irrevocably. Healing has always been a choice, not a miracle that happens to you, but a decision that rises from within you. On the 24th October, this truth comes closer, clearer, unshakable. You realize that no one can save you from the pain you refuse to release. No one can force you to grow if you keep clinging to what broke you. Healing does not arrive with time. It arrives with choice. Every breath you take in awareness, every act of forgiveness, every moment of stillness is a step toward becoming whole again. There is a pattern in how most people move through pain. They wait for life to change, for people to apologize, for the past to fade. But nothing outside can heal what lives inside. 24th October reminds you that waiting is another form of hiding. Healing begins when you stop waiting for peace and start creating it. Every time you choose to breathe instead of react, every time you choose understanding instead of blame, you are already healing. It's not about one big act. It's about 1,000 small conscious choices. The wound you carry cannot close through force or denial. It closes when you make peace with it. When you say, this happened, but it doesn't define me anymore. 24th October is the day to say those words. The day you stop seeking healing as something that must arrive and instead begin to live as someone who heals through being aware. Healing is not about removing pain. It's about transforming your relationship with it. Every time you hold on to resentment, every time you replay the same memory of hurt, you choose to stay wounded. But when you choose silence, forgiveness, understanding, you choose freedom. This is what 24th October brings to your consciousness, the realization that God doesn't fix your wounds for you. He gives you the strength to see them differently. He gives you signs, moments, opportunities. But you must walk through the door yourself. The truth is, healing is a daily decision. Some days you will feel strong and clear. Other days, the past will whisper again and you will feel the ache return. That is part of the process. On the 24th of October, the reminder is simple. Don't run. Choose again. Choose peace again. Healing is not linear. It moves like waves. It comes and goes, teaching you patience, teaching you surrender. Every wave that hurts is also cleansing you. Every emotion that surfaces is another step toward release. Many people think healing happens when pain disappears. It doesn't. Healing begins when pain no longer controls you, when you can hold your wound with gentleness instead of judgment, when you can look at the past and see lessons instead of loss. That is maturity. That is self-growth. And that is what 24th October symbolizes, the moment your pain turns into wisdom because you chose to see it differently. Healing does not mean forgetting. It means learning how to live without being defined by what happened. It means you stop seeing yourself as the one who was hurt and start seeing yourself as the one who grew. Every choice you make from awareness becomes medicine. Every word spoken with kindness becomes light. Every act of forgiveness breaks another layer of old pain. 24th of October calls you to practice this kind of healing, silent, steady, real. There will always be reasons to stay hurt. The mind will feed them to you like a habit. But healing requires courage, the courage to choose peace even when anger feels justified, the courage to choose release even when holding on feels easier. On 24th October, this courage awakens in you. It doesn't shout, it moves quietly, like breath through still air. It reminds you that healing is not about the world changing, it's about you no longer being chained to it. Every time you make a choice aligned with your peace, you stitch another part of your soul together. Every time you choose understanding instead of reaction, you heal another unseen wound. Healing doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It happens quietly when you walk away from what no longer feeds your peace, when you stop explaining yourself to those who don't listen, when you choose calm over chaos. That's what 24th October teaches, to heal through awareness, not through struggle. Life will always test your healing. It will send familiar situations to see if you react the same way. If you do, the lesson repeats. If you stay calm, the wound transforms into wisdom. That is how you know healing has taken place, not when nothing hurts, but when the same thing no longer has power over you. 24th October marks the space where pain begins to lose its voice and peace begins to speak louder. Every day is a chance to choose again, to forgive again, to breathe again, to stop carrying the story that once crushed you. Healing is not about being untouched, it's about being unshaken. It's about standing inside your own silence and knowing you have finally made peace with your past. On the 24th of October, this silence deepens within you. It is not empty, it is full of strength, full of clarity, full of light. You don't need to wait for a miracle. You are the miracle when you choose to no longer be ruled by pain. Healing was never something given. It was always something remembered. The truth is simple. You are not broken. You are just returning to the part of you that has always been whole. 24th October is not another date. It is a threshold. The moment you decide that peace is worth more than your wounds. The moment you finally understand that God has already given you everything you need to heal. Awareness, patience, and the power to choose again.